I am Wen Yifan. People often describe me as calm and reserved, gentle on the surface, yet distant at heart. I always keep a subtle boundary with everyone, quiet and restrained, never revealing my vulnerability easily. To the world, I appear steady, docile, and unflappable. But no one knows that this composed demeanor is never innate maturity. It is years and years of self-protection. I have always been a person who lacks love deep down, born with inferiority and timidity rooted in my bones. I am used to compromising, yielding, and swallowing all grievances alone. I have long learned to pretend to be invincible in front of others. My life was incomplete from the very start. The coldness, quarrels, and separation in my original family shattered all my illusions of warmth and stability at an early age. I grew up watching others' moods, restraining my emotions, and never daring to ask for too much or rely on anyone. While others enjoyed warm and carefree childhoods, mine was filled with endless unease, repeated disappointments, and constant fear of having no one to fall back on. These deep-seated shadows shaped my twisted, timid personality and my chronic sense of unworthiness. I always believed I was not good enough, not deserving of exclusive love or lasting warmth. That is why my indifference is never arrogance, but fear. My distance is never coldness, but self-defense. I push away approaching warmth not because I do not need it, but because I know too well that losing something precious hurts far more than never having it at all. I fear loneliness after liveliness, betrayal after sincerity, and emptiness after wholehearted devotion. I am always afraid that after bearing my heart completely, I will end up alone once again. Until I met Sang-Yan. Sang-Yan was the only heat and light in my desolate youth. As a teenager, he was dazzling, unruly, arrogant, and the most eye-catching person in the crowd. He looked wild, casual, sharp-tongued, and unyielding. Yet only I knew how gentle, sincere, and devoted he truly was beneath his tough exterior. While others saw his willfulness and pride, I saw the tenderness hidden behind his sarcasm, the favor concealed in his awkwardness, and the silent persistence he maintained for years on end. Our high school days were the rare warmth in my gloomy youth. Back then, our love was pure and innocent, free from worldly calculation and realistic restraint. He cared for me clumsily, protected me awkwardly, and tolerated every part of me. Though his words were never soft, his actions were always genuine. He remembered my preferences, endured my silence, understood my sensitivity, and saw the fragility beneath my gentle appearance. When everyone thought I was strong and unbreakable, only Sang-Yan witnessed my hidden mess and timidity. Yet I was too timid, too twisted, and too unconfident in those days. Trapped in the shadows of my family, I could not believe I deserved such brilliant and persistent love. I thought we did not belong together, that beauty was temporary, and that happiness would eventually vanish. I feared separation after intimacy and hurt after honesty. I was terrified of giving my entire heart only to end up empty-handed. So I pushed him away with my own hands. After the college entrance examination, I secretly changed my application, abandoning the future we had promised each other and cutting off all connections between us. I ended our youthful love with the coldest and most decisive attitude. On the surface, I seemed free and resolute, but in truth, I fled out of inferiority and cowardice. I thought short pain was better than long regret. That distance could protect my last shred of dignity. But I was wrong. That hasty separation did not set me free. It left me haunted with regret for 9 entire years. For 9 long years, we lived in different cities, separated by time and distance, burdened by unspoken words and misunderstandings. I once believed time could dilute all memories, fade every heartbeat, and erase every obsession. Yet I slowly realized Sang-Yan never truly left my life. He lingered in my memories, hid in my subconscious, and remained in every unadmitted crush, year after year, never fading away. I suffer from sleepwalking, a subconscious secret even I cannot control. Though I deliberately restrained myself, pretended to be over him in waking hours, my true heart never lied in my unconscious nights. I would subconsciously approach him, rely on him, and run toward the person I once pushed away. My reason could deceive everyone, but it could never fool my soul. I never got over Sang-Yan, not even for a second. Our reunion after 9 years was unexpected, yet destined. Life circled back, finally bringing us side by side again. Living together as roommates allowed us to reconnect, reconcile, and rediscover the deep love hidden beneath years of separation. I finally understood that someone could love silently, stubbornly, and endlessly. Sang-yeon is sharp-tongued, awkward, and fond of teasing me. He seems to criticize me constantly, yet favors me in every possible way. With 9 years of silent devotion, he proved what it means to choose someone firmly. Others loved my gentleness, sensibility, and decency. But Sang-yeon loved all my brokenness, sensitivity, twists, and imperfections. He accepted my shadows, tolerated my flaws, healed my inferiority, and caught all my vulnerability and embarrassment. He never pushed me away for being gloomy, insecure, or overthinking. Instead, he walked toward me again and again, telling me I did not need to be perfect or always strong. He taught me that love is not about picking flawless people, but loving someone entirely, scars and all. The world says I am hard to coax, twisted, sensitive, reserved, and heavy-hearted. But only I know the truth. I am not hard to calm down. I simply never had anyone choose me firmly before, so I learned to close myself off, build walls, and refuse to believe in love. Like a timid hedgehog, I raise my thorns to protect myself, cold on the outside, yet desperately craving warmth within. It is Sang-yeon who melted my years of ice, healed my deep-rooted unease, and taught me how to be loved and cherished without fear. He broke down all my self-denial, overturned all my pessimistic assumptions, and cured my life with years of tenderness and persistence. He let me understand that I did not always need to be sensible, restrained, or tough. I could also be placed at the top of someone's heart, favored unconditionally, protected firmly, and treasured wholeheartedly. I finally dared to admit honestly that I have always loved him, from youthful crush to endless years, without interruption. All my past distance, indifference, and avoidance were nothing but self-protection and contradictory cowardice. I missed him for 9 years, owed him 9 years, and loved him silently for 9 years. I finally comprehend that the best love is not a momentary passionate thrill, but steady companionship through years. Not a perfect match, but mutual healing through brokenness. I met Sang-yeon covered in wounds and shadows, and he dispelled my darkness, filled my desolation, and fulfilled all my regrets with lifelong tenderness and 9 years of devotion. Now I have reconciled with myself and made peace with my past. I no longer evade, struggle, or exhaust myself needlessly. I finally dare to take off all disguises, accept his love openly, and walk firmly toward our future. I am Wen Yifan, once sensitive, timid, gloomy, and starved for love, never daring to believe I deserve to be cherished. Yet I am infinitely blessed to have met Sang-yeon in this life. He is the crush of my youth, the obsession of my years, the stability of my remaining life, and the only salvation and light in my desolate world. I used to think that life would always be trapped in endless darkness, that I would spend my whole life cautiously curbing my emotions, drifting alone in the crowd, never daring to stop, never daring to crave warmth. I had watched too many broken families, too many fleeting affections, too much indifference and betrayal in my growing years, so I stubbornly believed that permanence was the rarest thing in the world and that all tenderness was temporary and illusory. I wrapped myself in a thick layer of indifference, using politeness as a barrier and calmness as a disguise, letting everyone think that I was adaptable and free from worldly troubles. No one knew how eagerly my heart longed for a steady home, for someone who would never leave, for a love that could withstand the test of time and distance. Before Sang-yeon, I had always been a person who walked alone. I learned to take care of myself, endure grievances alone, resolve difficulties alone, and carry all the chaos of life alone. I never relied on others, never confided in others, and never took the initiative to hold on to anyone. I thought independence meant security, and that not needing anyone meant I would never be hurt. But after meeting him, I slowly realized that true strength is not never needing warmth, but daring to rely on someone wholeheartedly after experiencing countless disappointments, daring to open up completely after years of self-enclosure, and daring to believe in eternity after witnessing countless separations. Sang-yeon never gave me vigorous and exaggerated love. His affection is hidden in the trivialities of daily life, in every ordinary day we spend together. He will remember my trivial habits, notice my subtle emotional changes, and catch my sudden depression and unease in the crowd. He does not need me to explain my grievances or pretend to be strong. He can see through my disguise at a glance, hold my hand firmly, and tell me that I do not have to bear everything alone anymore. In front of him, I do not need to be a sensible, gentle, and perfect girl. I can be willful, fragile, petty, and awkward. I can vent all my negative emotions without scruples, and I can safely show all my ugly and incomplete sides. I have always been sensitive to emotions. A casual word from others, a subtle, alienated attitude can make me fall into self-doubt and denial for a long time. The shadow of my childhood made me habitually cater to others, fear being disliked, fear being abandoned, and always put myself in a humble position in interpersonal relationships. But Sang Yan completely broke this inferior cycle of mine. He will take the initiative to favor me, take the initiative to coax me, take the initiative to compromise for me, and never let me guess his heart anxiously. He will firmly stand by my side in all trivial disputes and worldly judgments, telling me clearly and repeatedly that I am worthy, that I am loved, and that I will never be abandoned. Those 9 years of separation were a long and desolate journey for me. After leaving his world, I went to a strange city, lived a repetitive and lonely life, and wandered in the crowd alone. I watched other people's sweet love and warm companionship, and I was always envious, but never dared to expect it for myself. I buried my youthful crush deeply in my heart, pretended to have forgotten completely, and even fooled myself into thinking that I had let go of all the past. But my subconscious never lied. My sleepwalking, my inadvertent trance, my habitual search for his shadow in the crowd, all proved that my love for him had long penetrated my bones and blood and had become an inseparable part of my life. I once resented the young me for being cowardly and ignorant, for pushing away the most precious warmth in my life with my own hands, for letting the best years pass in regret and missing, and for wasting 9 long years. Those years, I walked alone through spring, summer, autumn, and winter, endured countless lonely nights, and swallowed countless unspeakable grievances. I thought that this regret would accompany me for a lifetime, that I would spend my whole life remembering and missing, with no chance of redemption. But fate was kind enough to give me a second chance. It let us meet again after 9 years of wind and rain, let us sort out the misunderstandings of youth, let us make up for the regrets of the years, and let us continue the unfinished love of our teenage years. This reunion is not an accidental encounter, but the persistence of 2 people who have never let go in their hearts. He waited for me for 9 years, and I missed him for 9 years. The long years of separation did not dilute our affection, but made our love more firm and precious after going through ups and downs. After being with Sang Yan, I slowly learned to reconcile with my imperfect self. I no longer hate my sensitive and twisted personality, no longer blame my inferiority and timidity, and no longer feel inferior because of my broken family and incomplete childhood. Sang Yan told me that every scar is a proof of growth, every fragility is worthy of being cherished, and every imperfect me is worthy of being loved firmly. He used his long-term tenderness to fill all the gaps in my growth, to heal all the old wounds hidden in my heart, and to let me walk out of the shadow of my childhood little by little and embrace the bright and warm world. I finally understand that the so-called hard-to-coax temperament is just my unspoken unease and my unconfessed desire to be loved. I am not making trouble unreasonably, nor am I difficult to get along with. I just need a definite response, a firm choice, and a love that will never waver, and Sang Yan just happens to be able to give me all of these. He knows all my hidden thoughts, understands all my awkwardness, tolerates all my petty emotions, and uses his whole life's persistence to answer all my unease and doubt. Many people say that broken mirrors cannot be reunited, and that missed youth can never be repeated. But I think that the love between me and Sang Yan is never a simple repetition of the past. After 9 years of precipitation and growth, we are no longer the ignorant and impulsive teenagers we were. We have experienced loneliness, endured parting, understood regret, and learned to cherish. The love we have now is more stable, more sincere, and more unshakable than the flustered heartbeat of youth. It is the convergence of 2 broken souls, the mutual redemption of 2 lonely people, and the final settlement of a lifetime of obsession. Now I finally have a home that belongs to me alone. It is not a gorgeous house with luxury decorations, but a small space with Sang Yan, filled with trivial warmth and ordinary fireworks. Here, I do not need to be cautious, do not need to pretend, do not need to fear loss and abandonment. I can be willful and relaxed, can laugh and cry freely, can put down all my defenses and live simply and frankly. Every trivial day with him is full of solid happiness, letting me know that the most precious thing in life is never vigorous excitement, but long-term companionship and never-ending tenderness. I used to fear the future, fear uncertainty, fear that all the warmth in front of me would vanish in an instant, and fear that I would return to the lonely and helpless state of the past. But Sang-Yan kept giving me courage and confidence with his actions. He let me know that some love will not change with time, some people will not leave because of distance, and some persistence will never be diluted by years. He is my most solid backing, my safest harbor, and my eternal reliance in this chaotic world. Looking back on my 20-odd years of life, most of the journey was dark and rough, full of setbacks and desolation. But the appearance of Sang-Yan lit up my whole life. He walked through 9 years of wind and rain, crossed the mountains of time, came to my side, picked up my fragmented youth, healed my wounded heart, and gave me a complete and warm future. All the hardships I endured in the past, all the loneliness I experienced, all the regrets I harbored became meaningful because of his arrival. I am extremely lucky. In my gloomy and incomplete life, I met the most long-term and sincere love in the world. He did not dislike my brokenness, did not abandon my sensitivity, did not tire of my awkwardness, and spent his whole life healing my wounds. From teenage heartbeat to adult companionship, from missed regret to lifelong possession, from unease and timidity to peace and steadfastness, he has always been by my side, never leaving, never wavering. In the days to come, I will no longer be trapped in the past shadows, no longer indulge in trivial unease, no longer refuse to be loved because of inferiority. I will learn to accept all the tenderness he gives me, learn to rely on him confidently, learn to walk hand in hand with him through every ordinary day. I know that the rest of my life, there will be no more loneliness, no more parting, no more regret. The person who loved me for 9 years silently will accompany me through every spring, summer, autumn, and winter in the future, will guard my trivial joys and all my peace. I am Wen Yifan, a girl who has walked through darkness and finally met light. My light is called Sang-Yan. He is the end of all my wandering, the settlement of all my obsession, the warmth of all my years, and the only eternal love in my whole life.